All right, so I'll make it a little interesting. I'm going to talk on airport retailing, right? All of us are retailer here, so I'll just probably wake up some few people. How many of you have stores inside an airport or in the airport? Okay, two, three, four. And how many of you obviously don't have airport stores inside the airport? Okay, so these are the people I need to convert. All right, so let's start. Sorry, sir? Yes, you can open more stores. You can open more stores with us. Incidentally, as part of the team, and because we're talking salons, prior to this, I used to work, and a colleague of mine, we used to work for Mumbai Airport. So I was the chief commercial officer for Mumbai Airport prior to this, and we were the first airport to open a salon inside an airport in India. Yeah, so we actually got special permissions from the Bureau of Civil Aviation to get scissors inside. Otherwise, scissors are not allowed. So we started that. So that's the journey. We can do this together now. All right. So just a quick, what we do. A lot of people don't know about our company. It's a very large name. It's India Retails and Hospitality Private Limited. So we made it a short form. We call it IRHPL. We are a retailer. So we have three companies. That's why we call it IRHPL Group of Companies. One company, which is the mother company, which is IRHPL, is into retail. The second company is Radiance, which is into F&B. And the third is a company called Aerotree, which has a commercial real estate. So we've taken a lease from the airport. We built a building, constructed. The ground floor is a food court, and the first and second floor is leased out. But the main business is retail and F&B. We operate through our own concepts, our own brands. We have 6 of our own brands, which is Artport, Artport Accessories, Toycraft, Olfactive, Mishtan, and Neo Travel. And on the F&B side, we just created a microbrewery. So people who like fresh beer, next time you go to Mopa, Goa, we're just outside there. It's called Susegado. So the name derives from Susegard, which is the lifestyle of Goa. That's our own brand. Then we also facilitate brands entry into the airport. And then we have this whole list, US Polo, we have UCB, we are partners with Samsonite, W, Theobroma, Olfactive, a lot of brands we work with. On the F&B side, we work with Barley and Grape, which is another microbrewery in Hyderabad Airport. Philly Cafe, which is a 24/7 diner we are bringing into India. The store is currently under fit out. So overall, we operate out of 8 airports in India and 64 stores and counting. So that's how we are. Prior to this, like I said, I personally have experience in Mumbai Airport. Hence, I'm a little qualified to talk about airport retailing. So let's quickly now jump onto the quiz time. Right, so I'm talking about a physical space. All right, a physical space which has 5 times the population of Mumbai. Yeah, I'm just putting this in perspective. Mumbai's population is roughly 15 million, thereabouts. And out of 15 million, all of us are aware there is when you classify them on social economy classification, there is upper middle class, there is HNI, there is middle class, all put together is 15 million, thereabouts, right? I'm talking about a physical space which has 5 times the population of Mumbai going through that physical space in a year. Yeah, so that's the perspective. That's one. To enter this space, every individual has to pay either on its own or through whichever company or whomsoever sponsoring, minimum of 5,000 rupees to enter that space, well, roughly 5,000 rupees. I repeat, 5 times the population of Mumbai, spending 5,000 rupees to enter that physical space. Yeah? On the demographic side, 75% are men, right? These are largely early adopters, average salary greater than 7 and 7.5 lakh, this average salary. Obviously, there's a range and. So to summarize, 5 times the population of Mumbai, 70% men, paying 5,000 rupees to enter that physical space, an average salary of 7.5. So now all of us are retailers, right? Isn't this an audience you would want to be in? When we look at, yeah, so when we look at Mumbai and you look at the, the catchment areas of Mumbai, you talk about western suburbs, you talk about eastern suburbs, you talk about Harbour Lines, South Mumbai, still all that put together is only 15 million. Here I'm talking about a much more compact space where people actually enter that space. Guess this place? Any guesses? No, it's not Mumbai Airport, yeah. It's an airport, obviously. Which one? The largest airport in India. Delhi Airport. Absolutely right. Yeah. So this is just an example I took. We could have spoken about Bombay Airport as well. But Delhi Airport, which is the largest in the country, I think it comes in the top 10 in the world. 78 million passengers last year. 78 million passengers. Yeah, out of which 70% would be domestic, the balance would be international and growing. They're talking about, the airport authorities is talking about touching 100 million passengers very soon. Now look at that audience, look at the amount of profile of people, right? So let's now quickly look at the ecosystem of an airport, right? All of us, the people and the professional I'm talking to you and I'm trying to convert you. So when I look at it from that perspective, high rentals. Umesh spoke about rentals. He was comparing the mall rentals. He was talking about, I think, 800 rupees a square feet. Kuch nahi milega. 800 square feet. Yeah? Extremely high rentals. Very, very high rentals. High demand. Most of the larger airports in the country have very high demands for real estate. It's very difficult to get space in the airport. So very high demand. High revenues. High revenues for the brand. So one of the reasons why brands would want to be in the airport and pay such crazy rental is because the top line is so high. Yeah, you're looking at an airport which runs 24/7. You look at a top line which comes in, which is 3 to 4 times more than an average mall which comes in. Very high compliance. To open a store inside the airport is difficult, yeah, compared to a mall. There are various government bodies you need to work with. There are various regulations and specifications you need to have to open a store, to start a store, and then to operate those stores. Yeah? Just the fact that you can't even hire a person. So your sales staff also needs to be police verified. Yeah? He needs to go to the police, get his police verification done. Only then he gets an airport entry pass. That's the pass they have it around their neck. It's an extremely secure zone, very high regulated. So that's the advantage. And that's the ecosystem we're talking about, right? Now, what is the shopping behavior? Yeah, why and how do people shop in an airport? One is self-indulgence. A lot of time, and this, again, I'm repeating, this is largely men. Most of the time we end up going to the mall, with somebody, with family. It's largely, somebody else is shopping and you're there. But this is a time which is your me time. People are traveling for work. People are traveling on your personal time. Yeah, it's self-indulgence. You buy for yourself. Suddenly you see that, the shirt which you always wanted to buy. You said, chalo, let me indulge on myself. Impulse. I'm walking past, I see a chocolate, I see a mithai, and you end up picking it up. Gifting. I don't know how many of you are aware, Hamleys as a brand, yeah, that was the first time they opened a store in the arrivals. So if you notice, there's a difference between a security departure and an arrival. But Hamleys, majority of the airport, there will be a Hamleys stores in the arrival. How did that start? It started because when they opened one store, they realized that the throughput is extremely high. And why is the throughput high? Because it is guild shopping, right? So you have young kids at home. You traveled, you're coming home, and you always at the back of the mind, child says, "Mere liye kya laya aap?" Yeah. So that is where Hamley comes in, and that is where the gifting part comes in. That's where the guild shopping comes in, and obviously the convenience. You are there. A lot of people don't realize that after you cross security and immigration on the domestic side, you have a minimum of 1 hour. Yeah, we all think that the way we take flights is the way we usually do running around. No. Majority of the people spend at least an hour after security. So there is enough time. And on the international side, they have a minimum of 2 hours on the international side. So now imagine an audience which is extremely captive. He's there, he has the money, It's for us retailers now to create a model to ensure that a business goes up. So critical success factors. So these are very important. If you would like to have stores in the airport, it is what we call as time to purchase. So your category has to look at how much time does a customer take to purchase that product. So from a haircutting point of view, probably a men's haircut would be faster. But let's say when you look at a woman's grooming, the shampoo and all that, a little difficult in the domestic, but definitely doable in the international side. Appropriate price points, most of the time you notice that, or there is a perception that the price points in the airports are higher. They're not. It's only on the F&B side where the prices are higher, but on the retail, it's the same price. The shirt which you buy outside in a retail store and what you buy inside the airport is the same. However, here, the relevance is more in terms of the range what you keep. What tends to happen is most of the retailers, because the shop sizes, again, Umesh spoke about the shop sizes, are small, you end up keeping a more premium assortment. And that gives an impression to the customer that this is expensive. It's actually not. Hence, it is very important to understand the customer, the profile, and then look at the price points. Store design, easy layouts are very, very important. One very critical, I think, point here is the way a customer looks at a store. I think some years back, there was an ad. It was a very funny ad. It was about a mobile phone. And, the phone we used to be like this, right? And the ad spoke about where their lips is here. Yeah, remember? I think it was Ericsson or something like that. I don't remember. Because usually when you talk like this and your phone is like that. So we said, we can have a lips here. The idea is when you shop in a mall, you actually look at the store. Just imagine yourself, you are in a mall, you're looking at the store, so your eyesight is on the store. Whereas when you're in the airport, you're walking towards your pathway, you're walking towards your gate. And hence, your layout, your show window are extremely, extremely important. And last is obviously location. Depends on the pathways, which pathway you are on. You need to understand where the location should be. So these are some of the critical success factors. Point is, and to summarize again, I think the fact is you're talking to an audience which has time, which has a minimum of 1 hour, which has money, which is predominantly men, who's buying either for self-indulgence or who's buying as a guild shopping or on gifting. These are the critical success factors, and apart from that, there is VM and blah, blah, blah. If you still don't understand, come to IRHPL, we'll open stores for you. So thank you. Any questions, if you have time, or, yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I can't hear you.
Check.
Hello. Yeah. My name is Jaswinder Arora. I take approximate 100 flights a year. Just a question where, so previously when I used to travel, I was supposed to reach airport 45 minutes before. So nowadays we get a message 2 hours before. Is it anything related to
No.
so that we can come early,
we
spend
haven't
more time in
influenced
shop?
that. We haven't influenced that, but I think it's a question of the congestion and the security. That's where most of the airlines send that message, because what does tend to happen is you come last minute, and if there is a congestion either at check-in counters or at the security, the airline tends to lose out because your anger is directed against the airline. So they play safe. It helps us, but we haven't influenced them.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think last question.
I said Dandapani this side. So I have a question.
Yeah.
So when we have more terminals, the traffic is being diverted. So when the traffic is diverted, automatically the footfall will come down, the sales will come down. So even though the 10 million, 20 million, so when I put up a store there with high rentals, will it be a yield income as possible?
Yeah, so absolutely right. And I think one of the key part in an airport is how many security holds are there, right? And you're absolutely right. When we look at the passenger pathway, if there is one security hold area, and then you're crossing that and the retail is, let's say, beyond that, it's more captive, your yield is more. However, when the security hold starts to get segregated, then absolutely right, this 10 million passengers end up going in different security hold, and most of the time, the passengers don't come back. They are in the area, they are in the holding area, and then they do that. So that's one part. Second, obviously, is also the opportunities. Today, for example, let me say if this is the physical space, one terminal, the outlets are here. Now, if you imagine just splitting them up, there are different security hold areas which are created. So you can have that many more retail outlets. And we've actually done that. In Mumbai Airport, for example, and if you go through T2, you see the number of Coco Cart outlets. That these are chocolate brands, and you see the number of outlets there. So we realized there is one set of customers going here, and we had chocolate store there, and we realized there's a separate store, separate people going here. So we put up another store here, and both are doing very well. So it's also an opportunity. It is also the yield sometimes does tend to go down.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks a lot.